Welcome back, everyone, to Myth Machine and Delta Green and Dawn of the New Age Part 4, in which probably the world might end. Who knows? Unless Z-Cell stands between, as the thin green line between us regular folks and the horrible things that go bump in the night. As such, this show is rated R because of cosmic horror. There have been plenty of mind-shredding moments, and body and soul is slowly deteriorating for the agents, as it should be in Delta Green. You have been warned. Who is with us this particular... Who is in Z-Cell? Let's go.
Air Impact, playing Brian Fenton.
I'm Briar, and I'm playing Dr. Alex Blair.
I'm Cal, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Morgan.
I'm Harper, and I'm playing Cora Franny Talbot.
Indeed. And last time, we had some twists and turns. Briar was doing psychoanalysis on Morgan and helped her remember absolutely horrible things about things that were literally probing her brain in some fashion. Like opening up her skull, taking it out, putting it back in. It was unnerving for Morgan, and explained why she was so shocked in the morning. Even worse was, of course, that she had forgotten about everything in the morning, and Blair had to help her remember and patch together the memory again. Notably, Blair has not done this psychoanalysis with anyone else in the team so far. So who knows if Morgan is the only one. Oh, right, you brought the spray and you saw the surgical scar turn purple. Everybody has it on their heads. What have Anulsis done to you while you were in there? Have you been compromised? Should A-Cell just gun you all down? Just to be sure. So far, A-Cell knows nothing about this because you haven't reported it. Fenton had a quick conversation with his friend at NASA who told everybody that Nemesis, the new object in space that is about the size of Mars, has changed course, which should be impossible, and is headed inside the asteroid belt. They have not made that public too. They haven't published this information to the general public. So it is a secret at NASA, and no doubt the government knows by now. If it continues to deviate, it might get so close to Earth that it grabs the Earth and sends it spiraling away from the solar system forever, meaning death for everyone, essentially. They've started calling it Kali now. But fear not, everybody, because in town is one Scott Corso, who apparently is a colleague of Stephen Els's, and Sue Talbot has been trying to desperately drag into this to help you out somehow, maybe just to find a nice party place to end your lives partying non-stop for 4 months until the extinction event happens. Who knows? But Corso, after a lot of negotiations and discussions about what Corso could contribute with, did say that he was going to set up a meeting with those who run Anulsis, because he can. And he was going to do that tonight, midnight-ish, and it's now afternoon, so you have plenty of time to plan this. Corso has left you for the moment, and Z-Cell are alone and outside the Anulsis compound to reflect upon the situation on what their next moves should be, given all the things. So feel free.
Oh, 4 months.
Plenty of time to party it up.
That means the world's gonna end in August. 3967. Why is August an unfortunate month?
If the world's gonna end,
school
it's just... Yeah, I mean, who wants to die in August?
Nothing happens in August. Maybe they decided to change them.
Many things happen. Many birthdays happen in August.
Things happen in August. Happy good things happen in August, but who wants to die in August? Really, it's gonna be hot.
Not getting to
August is the Kansas.
Not quite the end of summer, but
It's the Kansas of months.
Then you like spent your last few days in school or work, and then that's not fun.
people work in August too.
Fair, but also, August, you're more likely to take time off. Because it's such a fun month.
I don't know if I agree with that assessment.
You should.
Can we move the apocalypse back to like, I don't know, like September or October? I think October is perfect. We all have a big costume party on Halloween right before the world ends. It's thematic.
You're thinking October is the only month for costume parties? You simpleton! You can have costume parties any day of the year.
That's the socially acceptable month for everyone to do the costume party.
When have we ever done anything socially acceptable, Fenton?
We're not the only ones dying here. 6, 7, I don't know how many billions of people in 1997.
Who else are you going to invite to your costume party?
How
The
about
entire
we
world
just
right
have,
before it ends.
how about we just have the world end in December?
At a costume party?
Bro, it's the end of the world. We can do what we want.
Exactly. Let's have a costume party in August.
The dark humor of Delta Green agents is a feature of serving in the organization, I think. You just go there naturally because, you know, it's Delta Green. In fact, if you don't have dark humor after working a couple of cases in Delta Green, there's probably something even wronger with you.
Yes, we do. We go to this meeting, we negotiate the movie Apocalypse back to October. That gives us like 2 extra months to try and figure out how to stop it.
Or 2 extra months, I don't know. Date Corso. Spend time with family. Have a costume party. I don't know. If you're gonna negotiate the end of the world, why not negotiate it until 50 years from now?
Don't have to die in a sequin suit.
They don't seem likely to go through with that. We can give them like Morgan's kidneys and
Excuse me?
I'd sooner give them your kidneys, okay?
well,
You're
fine,
not
we
taking
each give one
Morgan's
kidney.
kidney.
We each give one kidney.
I am not giving away Morgan's kidneys.
You're
One
not
per
she is.
kidney worth 2 of yours. So shut it.
You're a mean person.
Of course I am. It's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, seriously.
Hurry up and get married so you have a wife for the end of the world instead of a girl.
Yeah, I'm in Corso, so I'm not alone at the end of the world. Blair needs to get a cat. Yes, they're not alone at the end of the world.
So, for some reason, I can barely remember what we've done for like the past day. Have we done anything inside of trying to figure out how the cult's connected or involved? Or has it all been seducing Corso?
Corso has pets related. I am not seducing Corso.
I mean, you did become Corso's #1 deviant, so
That does not
you must be doing something right.
Of course I'm doing something right. But I'm not dating him. Yeah.
Yet.
He asked you out to dinner,
Yeah.
I think.
So it's not happened yet, and that could just be a business dinner. Stop overthinking it. Anyway, into the world. How do we...
Hey, you're not thinking enough about it, but that is later's problem. End of the world. Did you make any progress on seducing the cult leader to get to his private quarters and figure out any kind of information he might have or anything?
I am not a prostitute you can just throw a cult leader's Fenton. No, I did not seduce the cult leader.
Okay, I would like to remind
How we
you, it
do
was
it?
your idea for you to be the one to seduce the cult leader originally.
And now I'm not on board with it.
Do I have to seduce the cult leader now?
You don't have to. You don't have to do anything, you precious little minion of mine.
Okay.
You can do it if you want, but you don't have to.
If you want to seduce the cult leader, yeah, nobody's being forced to seduce the cult leader. I want to make that very clear. Okay. So we've made no progress then on figuring out the cult's connection to all this.
No, we were trying to figure out the brain problem.
I'm pretty sure if you compare
That's
like some of that purple stuff, you probably find it on all the cult people. Maybe it's like some sort of initiation.
I wonder, that might explain why some of the people are all, like, weird. Like the guards and stuff that patrol the grounds. That or they're, you know, jelly aliens. One or the other.
I don't want to become a blonde.
I don't... Okay.
That would be the end of the world.
Morgan, I don't think you have to worry about becoming blonde.
Thank God.
But anyway, Corso said that they were involved, but I don't know if he knows that they're planning to just toss the world into the unknown.
Plus, I'm pretty
And
sure.
what is...
Pretty
is
sure most of
Corso's-
the cult members are weeklies.
What is Corso and Steven's role in all this? What's their play? Are they wanting to stop it? Are they wanting to do something else? Are they on our side? Are you just...
They said they don't want the world to end yet, but they also said the world is not humanity's. So I don't think they're involved. I don't think they want the world to end, but I could be wrong.
Are we not
They have the
considering the
crystals.
yet they... Are we not considering the yet they chose to throw in there?
They got
I'll be
crystals.
dead
right?
by then. Calm down, Fenton. That's the next
Oh, yeah.
generation problem.
I'm sorry, Morgan, what was that?
They have the crystals. The ones that made that one guy into slime Jesus. They have a lot of them.
Yeah, but don't we also have 60 of them?
Yeah, but if they have them, they must be related to the weird ooey gooey nonsense.
Fair, but how do we decharge them without turning out like the kernel?
Not necessarily that we have to charge them, I just think we need to know that they have them.
Either way, so we're going to this meeting tonight with the cult, which I'm sure is going to end fantastically. So if we go, they're gonna know who we are. There's no more hiding.
Yeah, but I think they have bigger problems than 4 infiltrators.
I don't know. When we infiltrated, we had the ability to move around inside the compound.
They
and figure
took our
stuff out.
brains. Who knows what they did with them? They probably already know.
They don't think like we do, also. They could be perfectly happy that we did that. I don't know.
They could very. Did we get the CAT scan? Have we seen Morgan's brain?
There was
nothing.
results came in. There was nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't actually take anything from our brains.
That we know.
That we know of.
They could have put something in there that can't be seen on a CAT scan.
Yeah, does proto matter show up on a CAT scan?
Yes.
It should. You didn't see a CAT scan of Billy Spivey's arms and legs, but from what you understand from that case, the protomatter had basically turned into muscular tissue, so it wasn't human muscular tissue, but it was still muscular tissue that would be visible on a CAT scan. So that's a possibility, but that muscular tissue was also of a different structure, shall we say, and size than what Beta Ray Spivey normally probably had. So that probably helped in the identification. But if this stuff, Blair, can mimic any human organ, and you will recall that one agent was lost due to their bowels disintegrating as they had been replaced, then who's to say the limits of the protomatter's capacity for mimicking human tissue? Is your brain now completely made out of protomatter? Is there protomatter somewhere between brain cells, like an adhesive tissue, but in a very thin layer, so it's hard to spot on a CAT scan? Is it sitting as a protective sheath along the inside of the skull for some purpose? So it's also a thin layer, hard to spot on a CAT scan. And there's so many possibilities and so many unknowns here. Again, you didn't do the brain surgery, and the only item that you have available at the moment to determine as an indicator that there is protomatter around is the little spray, and you know that you have protomatter literally on your head right now. Like someone used protomatter to seal the surgical scar that you all have, because otherwise you would all be in the hospital right now with a lot of bandaging around your heads. It has healed remarkably well. Blair, as a doctor, you will know that when someone has had, shall we say, extensive brain surgery, recovery can be about a month, or even more, depending on how extensive it is. So the fact that you're all walking around as if nothing happened tells you that whatever was done to you is beyond the means of human medical knowledge in 1997.
It's 2025, I think.
Yes, beyond it in 2025 too, yes.
So just go in and ask for our old brains back and ask them to be put back together, no muss, no fuss.
And why would they agree to do that?
I don't know, we'll figure out what they want and then do it.
Okay, let's not aid the cultists and bring about the end of the world.
I'll help them with anything except end the world. That means our survival.
If we go to this meeting, it sounds like our undercover part is going to be over, which means we're going to have to go all in with them knowing that we're opposition. Which means we're going to have to hope that maybe, I guess, Corso or all Ziz have a plan. Because at this point...
We don't have to be opposition. We just have to be not part of them.
If the cult's connected to what's happening and preparing for the end of the world and all that, I don't think there's going to be anything where we're not opposition in trying to stop it.
Can't stop it.
What was that?
But can we stop it?
That's for us to figure out. That's our job.
Our job was to figure out if there's a link. Our job is not to stop the end of the world.
Yeah, our job is to stop whatever is all fuckery and wrong.
No, that's A-Cell's job. They did not tell us to stop what's fuckery and wrong. They just told us to figure out if there's a link.
They did say to,
No.
to destroy any unnatural connections, though, yeah, they did that. If there is one. There was a subordinate clause somewhere there.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the mission. They identify a problem and they send us to fix that problem.
Yes. The standard operating procedure for A-Cell is Identify the problem. Destroy the disruption. The source of the disruption. That's just... Bring your flamethrowers, I guess.
Yeah, basically, once we reveal who we are and all that yabba just so we're all on the same page about that, the cult's gonna know that we're no longer their buddies.
Yeah.
So we have to have a plan for how we're going to go about that, which I guess at this point sounds like we have to work with Anulsis and Corso.
Yeah.
I see no problem with this.
We can't fight this on our own. We can't be the four great heroes who are unsung and the thin green line between the end of the world and America. We do that. We're people with no magical knowledge. And we are up against something that is very unnatural, and we have the opportunity to stop it by partnering with the unnatural.
In this case, I agree.
Yeah, good.
Yay! Let's go be
Yay.
Eldritch cultists.
Woo!
What?
This will not go wrong at all.
Yeah, I'm sure Acel wouldn't mind at all.
Lacel's not
We don't have to
control
tell him.
for us.
I'm not saying anything.
I'm not telling Acel how we did it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Don't need to know.
Some sketchy stuff happening in Delta. It's just par for the course, folks. It's just par for the course.
Yeah.
I feel like Delta Green.
All they need to
all
know
about-
is that the problem is solved.
I feel like Delta Green, and they can appreciate the fact that it's all about choosing the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Some might be able to, some might not. But then again, how would you know? You haven't worked together with other Delta Green agents that much. Impossible to know for sure, isn't it?
We'll know when this is all said and done.
Fair.
Alright, let's do this.
Yep. Go team.
Go team. So, we are preparing for the evening's festivities, are we?
Yep.
Yeah.
We should
I'm
all
drinking.
wear our vests.
You think they're gonna be using bullets?
I don't know what's going to happen. I would rather be prepared.
Yeah, I'll take my hairspray with me, but I doubt they're gonna be using bullets. We're talking about a cult that has the ability to end the world. I don't think they're using bullets.
I'm pretty sure the hairspray wouldn't work on Slime Jesus, let alone whatever we're going to be facing. Is that right?
Oh,
They were
all I'm
on
saying.
Mary.
all I'm saying is Magic Dude was throwing us all about, including myself, and I feel like if I had to put on a numerical scale, I took less damage points because of my vest.
Fair. But he also wasn't an official part of this cult. Hence why he was able to just be yoinked away without consequence.
He thought he was something much greater and more, so there might be some limitations on what they can do compared to him. Either way, it's not going to hurt to wear vests in case something does go wrong.
You convinced me.
You didn't wear the vest.
I thought you said we're the best, I'm sorry. Alright.
If I'm going to die, might as well look snazzy.
Blair's been super quiet though. Blair, what do you think about everything? What do you think our plan should be?
I don't really see any other option but this.
Alright. Just want to make sure we had your input as well.
How do I put on a vest?
You put it over your head and then you attach the straps on your sides.
Really?
Well,
Never
you
done that
do you
before.
have?
Thank
Oh,
you.
are we gonna go to FBI field office in Tulsa and requisition a vest? Is that what we're doing?
Oh no, I thought we already had them because we're talking about putting on vests. Sorry, never mind.
And do we not just have our own vests?
No.
I mean, we're special agents.
Oh, but
Isn't
we're
that
off the clock,
something
right?
you check out from the office when you need them? I don't know. What
Not
is standard equipment?
necessarily.
If we only had an FBI expert. Anyway, let's see. Equipment, yada, do. I'm just checking
think
what they're saying in the book here about it because I can do that. There we go. Quest, handset, body armor. Kevlar helmet is standard, and Kevlar vest is also standard. So, it's very easy to requisition, is what I'm saying. Shouldn't be a problem, in other words. Official requisition, standard. If you are good at your charisma checks, you will get it in a few hours. Otherwise, it'll take a day or two.
When I look at the standard issue equipment that a Delta Green agent is expected to carry, the Kevlar vest is on there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, tools of the trade on page 85.
Oh, look at that. Yes. You are correct. Alright. So, Kevlar vest it is.
Let's roll.
Good job.
Let's swing stuff we can fuck up.
I'm not dying today.
Maybe?
You're having slightly less today. Nice.
I'm gonna die tomorrow because this meeting's at midnight.
Right, so it's technically past midnight and therefore you don't die today.
Yes,
You're perfectly safe, clearly. What
today.
could possibly harm you? Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, I am not proven mortal until I die. So,
That is true.
Let's get our asses kicked. Let's go get one last beer before the evening starts, and then see how this goes. Dinner, beer.
are we going to a bar in our Kevlar vest?
You could do
Just leave
that.
it we can leave those in the car. We could leave those in the car.
You can have a shirt over your Kevlar. It's not the actual vest is not terribly cumbersome. If you have reinforced Kevlar and plated armor, yeah, that's cumbersome. But you look a bit bulky because you're wearing the. But
It'll be pretty clear we're wearing vests or something.
yeah, I guess there's a lot of bulk to it. For those who pay attention to such things, at least. Alright, so we're all gonna go and have a drink before the end of Z-Cell, apparently? Are we?
Yeah, we don't have to put it that way, but yeah.
I'm not dying without at least 12 shots of espresso in my system.
I'll drink to that.
You can sit here and reminisce about all the strange things you've done together. It's a bit early for drinking, honestly, if you're getting to the bar at 2 p.m. But how drunk are we gonna get before midnight, or is it just a beer? Or just a...
Only 2 p.m. I thought it was in the evening still. Oh, God.
No. Yeah. We have a long
Is there
day
anything
ahead.
we want? Is there anything we want to do?
Maybe one last call to loved ones, maybe?
One last what?
One last call to loved ones, maybe? I don't know, one last game of dodgeball?
We can do that. No.
Zed misses you.
I don't think we're intending to die in this, right?
We could. We're all infected with protomatter. We very well could
That's true.
die tomorrow.
Is there anything we want to do about the end of the world before we go here? Anything we want to try to do investigative-wise, or?
Not that I can think of. Can you think of anything?
No, not really.
Blair, Morgan, you think of anything?
No.
Z-Cell is sitting around the table, each one with a glass of something. Morgan is obviously espresso. I don't know what the others are having. Blair, what are you having at the moment?
I really have no idea.
Fenton, what are you having?
I'm having a Guinness.
A Guinness, very good. Nice stout. The foam on top. Talbot.
Spiked lavender lemonade sounds appropriate.
Is that non-alcoholic?
It's spiked, so I guess it
Okay,
is.
spiked. Okay, yeah, with a shot of vodka at the bottom. Blair?
Oh, wait, just to get us as well.
Just a Guinness. Very well. We all need to have a chance here to get addicted, don't we? I don't know that you're actually gonna get that much to drink, as it were. What is it? Page 34 or 47, I'm not sure. Stimulants. No, this is not stimulants. This is like alcohol. But anyway.
Depressants.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess could caffeine be a stimulant?
But it's just a little bit, right? It's just a little bit. So, heavy drinking gives your agent a plus 10% to repress an acute episode. At the same time, minus 20 on all skill and stat tests. But we're not doing heavy drinking at the moment, are we? So we're not going to be that into our cups that your senses of the world are starting to switch and there's slurrings of speech. But there's 1,000-yard stares into various goblets or glasses or containers from which one can drink stuff. And as you are sitting there and just staring at the wall and wanting the time to pass by, which it does slowly but surely, you will see someone come in through the door.
Who is it?
Oh no.
Hello.
She's walking over to you with... She has a smile on her face.
Doesn't she always?
Yes, she always has a smile on her face.
I don't like her.
We don't need to like her. We just need to negotiate.
She's gonna sit
I
down
don't care.
on... You don't mind if I sit, do you? She says in a very monotone voice. And then she sits and looks at you. That sort of... It's not that her skin looks plastic, even though there's plenty of bronzer here to make it look not so natural, let's say. It's more like her expression is that of dull without genuine emotions. It's like someone taught her how to smile, but it's a learned skill that has no meaning for her in other ways.
She's a
Oh.
jelly alien. Got it.
That's the week away.
I need help, she says.
What do you need help with?
My situation, of course. Can we go... Perhaps this is a good location to speak. Perhaps... They do not suspect. Good. I am... I need your help.
Lana, so do we. come to some sort of agreement.
Very well. What sort of agreement?
We were hoping to have whatever happened to our heads reverse. What do you need help with?
I can't help you with that.
Can you help us find who can?
You don't want that.
We do. Now, what do you need help with?
Them.
Huh. What exactly about them?
There is much I do not know. I know Hope did not return from St. Louis. Did you encounter Hope?
We believe we did, but it's hard to tell.
What was this weird guy?
What might have happened to Hope?
Last we saw of her, she was involved with a certain rogue member of Anulsis.
Mr. Walters.
I believe that is the name he goes by, yeah.
And he's dead.
We believe so.
According to news reports. Maybe you know something else. I do not remember much of before becoming. Nothing, in fact. I know I have not always been this. I know how they power the bringer.
How do they power it?
The realizers. The realizers contain much psychic power, and with so many members of Anulsis meditating upon their realizers, a lot of psychic power has been harvested. It is being transported to the bringer from the headquarters. If you could disrupt that, then perhaps we could thwart them.
What are they trying to do exactly?
I do not know. But I have strange feelings. Feelings that come and go. Human feelings. I think some of what I was is still inside. I'm trying to break free. It is very hard. I cannot stay long, or they will know. Can you help me?
What do you propose we do? How?
You have access to many people with guns, do you not?
With these guns, dogs?
We can't just raid an Anulsis facility without reason.
Find one.
And if we were to raid it, what would happen to us? There's protomatter in our heads.
I
We wouldn't
do
have
not
a
know.
Has anybody in the compound ever rebelled or tried to leave? If so, what happened to them?
Leaving is voluntary. Only the stewards are bound. I cannot stay long. There is device for transporting realizers to stations around Nemesis object, fueling the trajectory.
The trajectory of the planets.
Yes.
And where are these devices?
The devices are the realizers. The devices that guide the planet, I do not know exactly. Beyond the transportation apparatus, it is on the soundstage in the pyramid. You cannot do this alone. You need more people. My colleagues and I will fight you. We are too strong for you. You might have been able to destroy hope, but there are many of us here. I think perhaps too many stewards for you to survive.
If you want us to stop you, which we're not entirely set on yet, we would need a reason to call in people with guns. And we don't have that. We don't have any evidence with which we could use.
She's gonna look at you for a moment and tilt her head like she's watching I don't know, a lab rat or something. Strange. You have no sense of self-preservation? You would let your entire species be destroyed? You have surrendered?
If I personally did something about it, I would. I have people I care about more than I care about myself. But presently, I do not have the ability, as you said, to stop you.
I hope you do find the ability for everyone's sake. I cannot stay long. Remember, there is a way to disrupt Nemesis. I cannot do it alone. I do not have enough control. I need to leave now. I do not know how long I can maintain. Good luck. And she stands up. And it's a very stilted standing up. And it's an equally stilted walking out of the bar. Or the diner. And outside into, yeah. Into traffic beyond, as it were.
Well,
So, we need an excuse to get a lot of police with a lot of guns in Anulsis. I think the answer's simple. Talbot, your soul is already damned, so you're going to go into Anulsis HQ and go absolutely insane, take a hostage, all that.
wait, should we have asked if the guy at the very top was a Uigui? Because if he's a normal human, then we could probably punch him to death.
We could call ACEL and tell them we found out how to stop all of this.
I wonder what connections they
Oh
have.
wait, we should do this.
But
We should do this after we get the weird brain matter out of our heads. Maybe.
I don't think
Do
we'll be
it
able to get it
or
out
after.
after a little bit.
Or maybe Alziz and Corso don't want the world to die, and maybe they're
We could
not.
just tell them.
Yeah, maybe they're not too happy.
They said that
Corso
this.
said-
They said
Didn't
something
Corso say
about.
we'd see at the meeting? We could say something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also, we're not the only cell of Delta Green. It could be a situation maybe we can get more reinforcements or something, but
And the planet is about to crash into our planet. That is like
Yeah.
a worldwide threat. We should probably get everybody on it.
Something tells me ACEL isn't just sitting there twiddling their thumbs while we are the only groups that can figure it out. So,
I think we should report our findings to whoever could do anything about it.
my vote is for Corso and Alziz. I think if anybody has the ability to stop this, it would be them. They already have an in.
I'll,
So why not?
I'll take your judgment. Yeah, judgment is the right word.
might stop at one solution. You could talk to Corso on this. We could also talk to ACEL and see if there's anything they can do in terms of support.
With ACEL, if we get them involved, they might go up after our other allies. And then we have two bickering allies while we are truly left alone.
If the two. What if they're telling about each other though?
Besides, something tells me all of Delta Green is not going to win against a bunch of Uighuis. We might want a bit more magic. A little bit of hypergeometry.
Just saying, there's no need to put all eggs in one basket. Especially when we don't know whether or not Alziz and Corso will even help.
Fair, but when those two baskets are actively seeking to fight, we might want to see how one basket holds up and then put our eggs in the other one.
So who we gonna tell first?
Let's at least talk to both and see what they suggest.
We can reach out to Corso first.
Talma's like, who cares about ACEL? I want to talk to Corso. Are you already a member of whatever Corso is a member of? You've already flipped sides?
Maybe I'm playing both sides. That maybe.
A little bit. Not,
I mean,
no
I did
harm
say
has
that
ever
I-
come of anything like that, right?
And I did say my allegiance was to Corso, so long as he helped Corso, so long as he helped my friends and their families. I think I owe him the first chance to try to win this.
Talbot wants to call Corso. Anyone else want to call anyone else?
I'm with whatever Talbot wants to do.
She can call Corso. Like I said, I think we should call both. Not to get both involved right away, but see what options are on the table.
Let's consult the bookman.
The bookman.
The bookman, let's consult the bookman.
Alright. We're calling the bookman. And you know what? The bookman is paying attention, shall we say, to what's going on with his phone right now. He may just answer, in fact.
Hello, my dear Scott. So, we had something happen, and I wanted to run this by you. Just because I don't know this other group as well. A member came into the bar we're currently at, and she asked us to disrupt this whole world ending in 4 months thing they have going on. Does that impact our meeting that we have with them? Or...
Scott is on the other side of the phone, of course, and that's interesting. Why would this person... Is this person a potential defector? Is that what you're saying?
It's possible. She said she still felt like parts of herself were still in her somewhere. This could also be a bit of a mind trick, since you said they don't tend to think as we do. Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. My knowledge in these kinds of issues have never been in this particular subfield. It is not my area of expertise, unfortunately.
I just wanted to follow up on one thing. When you said that you guys weren't ready for the world to end or you didn't want the world to end until you said so.
Yeah.
So it looks like this Kali planet is going to fling us out of orbit in 4 months. That's how your guys say so, right?
That is our guys' what?
That has your guys' say so and approval, right?
If it does, I am not aware of that. I can't say that I am necessarily that I am always updated on the... I'm not the most senior member in our group, let's say.
Ah, okay. I guess we'll have to make that day soon one. So...
Indeed. Yes.
Anyway.
It sounds to me like if they are in fact trying to end the world, first of all, it would not be the first group affiliated with things beyond the normal who would try so. Many have tried and failed. There was one attempt in the 1920s, for example, in 1925, 26. It went awry. That was before your particular group was organized. But there's been such attempts every once in a while down the centuries, and given the cosmic powers and the scale that we're talking about, most of these are in the blink of an eye, conducted by people who have very little understanding of what they do, and therefore, by sheer incompetence, fail. Which doesn't mean that there aren't powers out there who will, in their own good time, reclaim the world when the time is right.
On the off chance this group is not approved to send us spiraling into the icy oblivion, we learned some things as well from this meeting. They said that the device that they use to power Kali is in the soundstage in their Great Pyramid. So, Big Buddy wants to stop that. That's where that is. Supposedly.
Do you still want to go through with the meeting?
I would like to. I'd prefer to be alive for 4 more months. So yeah, I'll go through with it.
Very
Perhaps
well. We might learn something. We might not.
Yes. This defector may even help us in a way.
Tap Talbot on the shoulder and tell her to ask if Alzid is going to be there or if we can meet with Alzid.
Oh, and a friend of mine wants to know if Alzid will be there? Or
No.
when they... Yeah. I might also want to set a meeting. I know this is
Mr.
kind
send me a video of
There
them
was a
sleeping,
lot
like
of-
well, I don't want that, and then we discuss it with Echo.
That was a lot of other noise. Sorry about that.
Yep, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
So a friend of mine wants to know when a good time would be for him to meet with Steven.
I don't think Mr. Alziz is coming.
That's
Yeah.
fine. Also, he knows who I am.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry, it was Spencer who asked us. So, like it 2 months down the line. I don't know. Just curious.
We'll talk with
I
Corso, I
suppose
guess,
I
later.
could ask him, but I don't know exactly what he would gain from it. He is not a man who will engage in meetings just because of socialization pressures.
I
No, it
understand
was-
he's very busy. A friend of mine was just curious.
If we're going to be working together on stopping the end of the world, it'd be nice to talk to somebody. And I only know 2 people on this guy's group.
I don't know that you need to know anyone else from our group.
That's fine. You'll be there. So I guess we'll talk with you.
Indeed.
So see you later.
Indeed.
Well,
Thank you for calling me on this matter.
Thank you for picking up.
All right.
Nonetheless, they don't seem like the world to end. I do want to make it clear to Taplet just so she knows, and I feel like Blair's kind of on the same side. I don't fully trust Steven and Corso in their organization.
Yeah.
What?
I want to
I'm
be
shocked.
I want to be wary about engaging with them. Like, this is end of the world level shit, so of course, whatever it takes, but I do just want you to know that I am wary about getting involved with them.
Fair.
We know. And we love you for it. Alright, shall we give ACEL a call now and see what they have to say about what we've uncovered?
Sure, let's just also not mention we've been infected.
Yeah, that's fine. We can leave that part out and we can leave out the Ulses and Corso part.
Okay, so we're gonna...
1-800-ACEL.
1-800-ACEL.
That's their number.
1-800-ACEL.
And call today.
You know what? They are picking up. They are picking up at the other end. It's gonna be take a couple of rings go through, and then Agent Adam.
Optimus with Z-Cell.
Report.
Do you want to... Well, the bad news is, looks like the end of the world is coming in August, apparently. That planet heading towards us is in fact connected to the cell. The cults. In fact, their realizers, their crystals, seem to be what's being used to control it and control its trajectory. One of them approached us, seemingly wanting to be a defector. Or at least wanting us to stop them. She told us about how their realizers, again, as the crystals they were using, how those are being used. They're like these big beacons of psychic energy, and they're being used to set the trajectory. And how there's this big transportation thing in the pyramid at the compound that she recommends us attacking. She wants us to assault the compound. And that there's apparently going to be more unnaturals like the ones we encountered back in the city we were in just before.
Yeah, there's silence at the other end for the moment. Is that your entire report?
God, is that our entire report? I missed the session.
The soundstage.
But now into the soundstage. You're on speakerphone.
Oh, sorry.
Did speakerphones exist in those days?
Sorry, I thought I was like leaning over your shoulder. No, the stuff is. This is Zona, by the way. The devices that take the realizer energy and use it to power Kali, that is under the soundstage.
In the cult compound.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very well. This is clearly a greater threat than we have faced in a long time. You say world ending. You're sure of this? What is your confidence in this intelligence estimate?
NASA level.
Talbot saw it in a vision that was brought on by the realizer. The same vision that let us witness what happened to the colonel and everything. Something that's more on the supernatural end. I'm pretty willing to accept it. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but a friend of mine at NASA mentioned that giant planetoid thing has changed course.
We are monitoring the situation. Very well.
I can't say anything with absolute confidence in this job, as I'm sure you understand, but I've seen enough just in the past week alone to believe this could be a serious crisis.
We will send reinforcements. It will take some hours to organize. You should not expect them there within the next 24 hours. After that, or before, if you deem it necessary, engage local law enforcement or the local Federal Bureau of Investigation to conduct the raid, if necessary. Priority 1 is eliminate the unnatural threat. All other priorities are secondary. All other priorities are secondary.
Understood. We'll continue to monitor for now. and await reinforcements. I assume you'll let us know when they're on the way. One thing I could say, we believe that we have reason to believe there's going to be more creatures like the one Hope that we encountered prior. They're very susceptible to fire. In fact, fire seems to be the only thing that actually gets through to them.
Very well. Then you know what you must equip yourself with. Keep us posted,
Right.
Z-Cell. Good job. Click, I guess.
Yep. Oh, that actually went better
Yeah.
than expected.
That's because we didn't tell them we were infected.
We don't even know exactly what we're infected with. And before you say something, I'm telling myself that to not freak out about it.
Maybe I want you to freak out, okay? Because our foreheads are purple. Fenton, purple.
You are very bad at helping people remain calm.
I'm an engineer. I'm not a therapist. What do you expect me to do?
To not say what you said.
I'm sorry I didn't go to psychiatrist school while I was busy getting my iron ring. Okay?
Didn't pick up on social cues either.
That's because I'm autistic. You hated gremlin.
Alright, we have like lots of time, apparently, before this meeting. So, we should do what we do best. Making improvised incendiary devices.
I could get some sugar, bread, ping pong balls, packs of cigarettes.
You are the terrifying engineer, so take your minion and maybe do that. Do we know where the soundstage is?
Oh yeah. You've been inside the pyramid. It's right there.
Blair, what
Right
if
up
you and
there in the
I return to the compound and take as many notes as we can on everything, so we can then work to making a sort of map of the compound and everything.
Yeah, I'm good with
Why?
that.
Shouldn't we try to have the meeting and maybe resolve the thing in our heads before we try attracting the
Yeah, we're doing this before the meeting.
I know, I'm just saying maybe we should have the meeting and try to get what's wrong with our heads fixed before we try to blow them up.
I'm not trying to blow them up, but once we have the meeting, getting back in the compound may become significantly more difficult.
Ah! Do you think they'll notice us wandering around the compound taking notes on their very important infrastructure right after one of their defectors had a meeting with us?
You don't have to just be walking around with notepads and paper. We can commit some stuff to memory and write down some little minor note in a little notepad. And if we had access to, I don't think cameras were that small back then. I don't know. There were pigeon cameras.
Take your word for it. You're the expert.
But either way, this could be our last chance to get detailed information from the inside. Even if it's just walking around trying to commit as much as we can to memory with minor notes.
Alright, so we're going back to the compound? Sounds like to me.
I will wait outside.
You wait outside.
If you two want to, you can start getting supplies and stuff to make incendiary devices.
Alright.
Incendiary devices. Let's see now. We're talking about things like... Yeah, how hard would it be to get a flamethrower through official
already have-
requisition?
Wait, they already know we're planning a raid, right? Can't we just go up to a friendly and ask for a bomb or something and say, you know what it's for, and they'll just give it to us? You've already reported this as end of the world.
If you can find a friendly in Tulsa, Oklahoma, then yes. But so far, Acel has not given you the address to any green box, nor the address to any friendlies in the area.
Something tells me Acel doesn't want us to succeed.
May not have the resources.
Chlorine and
We
breakpoint
also-
it is then.
We also didn't ask about a green box in this city.
You didn't, this is true. Military flamethrower is an unusual expense, so it's not impossible to get your hands on it, but it will take a while.
Roots missile is only an extreme expense, meaning it's not impossible, it's just very difficult.
Exactly.
I already have hairspray and a lighter. Same
So, unusual. Let's see now. That would mean official requisition. Right now, you don't have an excuse to make this a high priority request. Do minus... No, it's an unusual thing, so it's not actually giving you a minus 20, apparently. Yeah, no, it's a few days. A day or two if you manage to hassle the local bureaucrats enough. Which means that it's not impossible to get your flamethrower.
Chlorine and brake fluid.
Yep.
They make our own.
Flour. Ping
Um,
pong balls.
Blair, are you comfortable with going to the compound with me and trying to? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Alright,
All right. Let's rock and roll.
let's go. So, Talbot is not in the compound. That's what I've learned from this conversation.
Nope.
Who else
feel-
is in the... Blair is there. Morrigan, are you in the compound?
I'm so reassured that we're trying to figure out where everybody is right now.
No reason. Just keeping track of things. For no reason. Oh,
You say no reason. I feel like. there's a
Morrigan,
reason.
are you going to the compound?
She said she was sticking with Talbot.
Okay. Very well. So we'll have 2 agents in the compound while Talbot and Morgan are... I guess it tracks pretty well that Morgan would be doing military requisition, going to the local army surplus stores to just buy stuff, as it were. We want incendiary devices particularly. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. Anyway, Blair and Fenton, you're coming back to the compound. It's now... By the time you get there, it's going to be 4 in the afternoon. And like all the other days, it is nice and peaceful and quiet. School's out for the day. You can hear children laughing as they are running around and playing something. There's a small playground. And someone has a football, someone has a soccer ball, someone has a baseball. They're doing all sorts of kids having fun in the afternoon things. And what are you doing? Maybe we should go and have a look at the actual overview map so you can decide for yourselves where you're gonna go and inspect more closely. Yes, there are stewards about. They are walking around and smiling and helping the local Anulsis members with their very smiley smiles, as they always do. They will welcome you back, of course. I'm sure you've seen Mr. Mosley before, right? Yeah, he's apparently head of public relations, and he will... my friends, yes. Good to see you back again. I hope that you have had a relaxing few days here since your ordeal in St. Louis. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and the local police department, we have lawyers, and we are certainly going to take them to task for the horrible, unconstitutional way that they violated our religious freedoms.
That I'm sure. Yeah, it's definitely been a relaxing few days. Just something about this place really gets to the head.
It surely does. Do you have any seminars to attend tonight?
I think we're actually just gonna take it easier tonight.
Which is also a great idea. A peaceful meditation on your own in our gardens will do you wonders. Don't forget your realizers.
Of course.
I'm sorry, but I have other duties to attend to now. Enjoy your evening and afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you. And once he's out of earshot, I'm just gonna mumble to Blair. I fucking hate this place.
Same.
Can't imagine why.
So, is the Hall of the Living Power where the soundstage is? Or
Yep.
The main hall.
Yeah, the whole of the living power is the soundstage, yes.
Cool.
Alright.
Just jot down some quick little basic notes about where we are about to go. Outside, we got the dorms. There's the hall there. Basically, a small little map of this.
Yep. Yeah, that figures. The whole of the living power. That's where we want to be, right?
Yeah, let's go take a look at that.
I think you might have been there at some point, but a reminder is never a bad idea, right? There you have it, the inside of the pyramid. As you can tell, there is the soundstage in the middle. There are all these rafters that go all the way up to the top of the pyramid, and there you can see the door to something, though by now you already know that is the apartments of the living power himself. And a lot of crates standing around here.
Cool. Where's the soundstage?
Right there. And you have a sound booth right above it to control the lights and the sound equipment.
I guess just look the area over and... Is there anybody around us in here?
What was that? Anyway.
Is there anybody around this? Is it just us right now?
Oh, why don't you roll a luck check? Let's see if there is anyone around.
Oh.
You could have just said no and life would have been great.
Where's the fun in that?
Oh,
Apparently there's someone around.
Oh.
They're hauling in... There's a truck outside, apparently. That is... So they're hauling in new crates that will be put among the others.
How much you want to bet that statue is what we want to blow up? I don't say that out loud. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna... There's no windows or anything, huh?
Not really, no.
And there's... How many doors are there? And apparently there's a loading dock to get croats in, or they just bring in through the front door.
Yep, there's one main door on every side of the pyramid, so you can literally get in from any of the cardinal directions. These crates, they're mostly shoved into the corners, really, and they are sitting on dollies, right? And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Do we know what's in the crates? Is there any indication of what's in the crates? If I read a crate, does it say 10,000 plus realizers?
No, it doesn't say that. It says a shipping location, you know, where it's come from.
Where'd it come from?
That one came from New York City.
New York City, huh? Is it like nailed shut, or can I just lift the lid?
It's definitely nailed shut.
Shit. I guess now fortune favors the bold. I want to walk up to one of the workers.
Oh my god.
Very well.
And then I want to shoot him. Nope, that's not true. I don't want
Ah!
to. Oh, shit, what are they? Hello! I'm like, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the people with the long white robes, Anulsis members. Oh, hello! Are you wearing your long white robes right now?
I'm
Imagine.
assuming we are.
Yeah, to win attract attention.
Hello, brother! How are you today?
Oh, I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
It's a great day. The bringer is coming, and it's bringing the new age with it. I've been talking all day with all of my brothers and sisters here about how blessed we are that our inner light is guiding these days. It's just, I don't know really what to say. It's just amazing.
Time to be alive. What a time.
It is an amazing time to be alive. Absolutely sure.
What are you calling in? What are all these crates for?
Oh, I don't know. Equipment for the living power.
Huh. I suppose that would make sense. Thank you. Best of luck, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful, amazing day.
You too. You too, brother. Walk
Yeah,
in the
that's where I go.
light. Walk in your inner light.
Oh, always. This is over. I'm smashed. I'm going to every crystal store in DC, buying off their stock and throwing it in the Potomac.
That's gonna be your new, the next trauma for you when you hit the breaking point, like crystal phobia.
Fucking
It's just crush.
That was actually, no joking, that's what I originally was going to choose to be my trauma.
Oh my
Crystal
God.
phobia. Which I'm glad I didn't go with that in the end.
There is still time.
There is, but it would have really sucked for this operation.
It would have.
Alright, you want to try and... If we break one of these open, it's going to be loud. So we could either just leave them be and assume it's a bunch of crates.
What?
We could try and find one that's open. How big are these crates? Are these like man-sized crates?
Nah, the crates.
Can I pick one up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And jiggle it?
You could probably put 2 Zeds in a single crate.
Oh wow, I jiggle it.
There is some rattling sound coming from inside.
Can I see a way to open it?
A crowbar would probably work.
Do I see a crowbar?
Roll a luck check.
Oh god,
I believe in you. You can do this. Find that crowbar.
can't even see my rolls.
Why can't you see your rolls? That's sad.
Nope.
I don't know.
No crowbar lying around in the immediate vicinity, apparently.
How strong is the wood?
Enough for a packing crate to get transported by air from New York to
So-
here?
If I slam the butt of my pistol really hard into the lid, would it break a hole in it?
It might also make
Look
a
around.
noise.
Is that going
Well-
to set it off?
Nah, if it removes the ammo, it's no problem.
I'm gonna go to the side of the warehouse, the side of the building where there's people not carrying shit through the door. Or do you think we should open it, Blair? I'm not gonna just make a decision on my own. Blair, do you think we should open it, or do you think we should just leave it alone?
We might as well just take a peek and open it.
Yeah. I find a quiet corner and I slam the butt of my pistol really hard into the crate.
A quiet corner. Okay, why don't you roll a stealth check with a -20 for slamming your etc, etc.
I may have already failed. I don't know. Okay, my stealth is 14, so it's a failure.
Oh my. Maybe Blair should be the one to do
Yeah,
this.
I've got a 33.
So there's at least a chance of getting away with it.
Blair, what's a quiet corner?
That didn't work at all. That definitely made a noise, Blair. A loud crack sounds through the echoes through the hall. Why don't you roll a luck check, Blair? Because you made the noise.
I need to refresh this. I'm not seeing any rolls.
Oh!
Now you have luck. Okay. Apparently, you haven't attracted attention yet. Yeah, you can see inside the crate now. There's some packing material, obviously, but once you shuffle that aside... Realizers!
Fair enough. Should have seen that one coming.
Full length ones too. They haven't been chopped in half.
All right. Cool. Let's leave this crate over here and pretend like we weren't over here. What's the deal with the statue?
It's really a representation of... It has an anonymous face, so it's really a gender, if you will. Could be a representation of any type. Do you have anthropology, Fenton?
Actually, I think I do.
You do have anthropology. Let's go with some anthropology.
That was a try at least.
You tried. Good news is you learned something new about anthropology because you've never seen a statue quite like it. It's not a Buddha, though there are some Asian influences in terms of its posture, sitting with its in a meditative stance. But they must have invented this for Anulsis specifically, rather than copying some other religion. There is an engraving of a realizer on its chest.
What material is the statue made out of?
It's made out of quartz. So it's a crystal statue.
Of course.
I think this might be the ha-ha.
That.
What if we just push it over and it broke? Like, what if we just solved the apocalypse by a whoopsie? Tripped into it. My bad.
It might not be that fragile.
I do want to knock on it. Does it feel hollow? Does it feel pretty firm?
That's firm enough, I guess. It's pretty big given the scale there, but yeah.
Okay.
I do wonder what will happen if you break it, though.
I feel like we should break it. Maybe not now.
In the future.
And then, is this like a lighting rig up here?
Yep.
And is it hanging over the statue?
It's hanging over the stage in general, yeah.
But it's over the statue as well?
Yeah.
And if I climbed on top of it with a screwdriver, could I break it and have it crush my target?
You could always try. What kind of, You are not really a crafty person, are you? You have no crafting skills at all.
Yeah, neither of us
So
do.
I guess what we're gonna turn to here is brute strength approach, like just smashing the lightning with the rigging, the material you want with your strength or something.
I don't think that's the plan we should go through, because even if it works, we're then fucked either way. Okay, but so theoretically, if we drop this on, we could drop this on top of the statue if we had a means of doing so.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely ways of getting above the statue on the rafters and whatnot, and from there drop something very heavy on it. That's a possibility. Yeah.
Gotcha. And is this like a wall around the statue, or what is this?
Yeah, it's some kind of, I don't know what you would call it. It's a stage. It's the back scenery for a stage, basically.
Is it a curtain or is it like a solid?
No, it's like a landscape, like a clouds and a banner with one of Anulsis faithful doing meditation with the realizer, that sort of thing.
Cool. What are shites these? What are these?
Various pieces of sound equipment.
Cool.
We're putting a hat on the statue. Maybe it only communicates because its head, like the highest point, is uncovered. Maybe like covering it up would.
There's a hat on the statue?
No, I'm saying if you could put a hat on the statue, maybe that would solve this whole thing.
Okay, I'm done listening to that.
Could you try? It could be right.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna climb up on top of their fucking goddess or whatever, put his hat on it.
Not even a silly.
Is there any point that we've been here? Has there been like communal TV where like everyone gathers around and watches the big screen and...
Not communal TV as such, no. There's been announcements that there will be like a weekly ceremony with the living power. So you know that. It's on the schedule. It's easy enough.
So like, we couldn't like stream or broadcast not stream of course, that's not technology we have. We couldn't like put in some VHSs that we found in a dude's sex dungeon and play it for all to see and see how the cult reacts.
You probably could. This is, again, a soundstage, so it's only a matter of finding a projector and the right controls and the sound booth, which is controlling all of these things. Let's see now. What is your electronics like here? Nothing. You are not a tech guy, are you?
No, I don't have a VHS in a VCR.
Yes, you do know about that, but this is one of these big control boards that make people who are not professional sound mixers and sound nerds absolutely woozy in their head from all the knobs and dots and switches and everything that is there. At least I know that when I see control panels like that, my eyes just glaze over and I'm like, yeah, that's some kind of magic. Don't know how to do any of that. So it could be overwhelming and confusing for academic nerds who don't know anything about electronics and sound systems, is what I'm saying.
Luca would have loved it here.
Yeah.
For once, we've come to an operation in Delta Green where electronic skills could be useful.
I feel like there's almost some kind of merit to like the psychological effects of playing his manifesto or his porno and just seeing how the cult reacts.
He wasn't really a part of it. He was more of a rogue character. Like
He was rogue from the upper management, but he was a major figure in the local cults.
In St. Louis, but you are in Tulsa. So, Gene Downing has already disavowed the actions of Doug Walters as the actions of a confused man who was led astray and so on and so forth. So that distancing has already been done.
I'm just saying, if half the cult on the ground have their sanity break watching the guy and the alien do the dirty deed together, that might give us a distraction.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Feel free to come up with your own ideas and we'll see how they play out.
Trenton, I feel like now is a time to remind you from across St. Louis that there are children on the compound.
Oh, I actually forgot about that part. Maybe we don't.
This is a factor, yes. There are children on the compound.
Like usually, I'm usually not very think of the children, but I don't think we should be showing alien porn to kids.
Oh my god! Can that go in the quotes?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I said.
Are you saying that A-Cell's instruction that all other priorities are rescinded doesn't apply to that one?
Look, if it comes down to the end of the world, we're traumatizing the children. We'll traumatize the children. But for now, we'll put that on the back burner.
I think showing children children alien porn should be the second to last resort.
I
Yes, the last thing we try is hold up, give me a VHS player. I have an idea.
This handler will actually agree. That's probably... So Talbot does have a moral compass still. We like that, yes.
Somewhere, yeah.
While they're doing all the things, let's see what Talbot and Morgan can get done outside the compound. Shall we?
Shopping for incendiary device ingredients.
Yes! Shopping for incendiary device ingredients. That is what we're
In a
going to do.
major city, while wearing a bulletproof vest. It's not gonna raise any eyebrows.
If they want to check you in any way, you can always just flash your badge, right?
Yes.
FBI shopping for incendiary devices is absolutely not sus in any way, shape, or form. Nobody's going to ask any questions. Alright, what do we want to do here? I'm going to call an incendiary device about... Are you gonna make it yourself?
It's the cheapest and fastest way.
Right. An improvised explosive device requires the skill of demolitions. Do you have the skill of demolitions?
Do I?
Do you? Yes, you do. Look at you
So does
go.
Morgan.
Demolitions. Oh, yes.
Demolition duo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Morgan also has the skill of demolition. Oh, yeah. So,
Hot 44, baby.
yeah. So,
Together, that's 90. We can totally do this.
it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Yes. So, the costs to acquire the material, the ingredients you need for your incendiary device is, in fact, incidental. So, we don't even have to roll for anything. You just take the time to go shopping and you the substances you need to make this particular improvised explosive device incendiary and not just go boom. It's gonna be...
How many bags of flour are we gonna buy?
Oh, we're gonna buy a bunch of flour. Those just industrial bakery size ones on the bottom shelf.
Okay.
We're getting
I'll
that.
carry those for you. Good. See these huge biceps? These are for carrying bags of flour.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Shop with a Walmart at any time. Maybe it's not Walmart. Home Depot. No, something. Hardware store. It's Oklahoma, which means that right next to all these ingredients that you... fertilizer and whatnot that you can use to make all sorts of interesting things, there's going to be a nice little gun store, obviously. So, you know, if you need your local semi-automatic rifles and so on here, that's also available. Because it's Oklahoma.
So we've got flour, hairspray, breaker fluid, chlorine, sugar.
We don't have to tell the audience how to make... Anyway.
I'm not saying what goes with what.
Why don't we have... Because you're going to take about an hour to pick up all the ingredients, and then you're going to need a couple of hours probably to actually make the things. So that's going to be your evening. Why don't we roll a demolitions check for each of you, and we'll see how much you might produce.
No.
Oh my gosh.
That wasn't good.
One was not critical, at least.
Do I have to roll too?
Yes, please. Right now, you don't have a working improvised incendiary device.
Demolition?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank God.
Yay.
Very good. So you have an improvised incendiary device, which would be, let's see now, the size of maybe a pipe bomb or maybe slightly bigger.
Can we make more than one?
Of course, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. How long will it take for us to make a second one?
That's an excellent question, isn't it? Don't know if they specified that in the rule set. Let's see. Set a charge, during an explosive. Doesn't say how much time exactly you need. Let's count for the sake of expediency with a couple of hours for each attempt.
Okay.
No, I have no idea how long it takes in real life, so I'm just things I'm not gonna Google because I don't need CSIS or FBI on me.
You told me not to tell the audience, so I won't tell you.
Very well. How do you know these things? Should I be concerned? All right.
I didn't Google it, if that's what you're wondering. That sounds worse. I'm so sorry. No. I asked a real-life demolitions expert, okay?
That is okay, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna put an improvised explosive device on Morrigan's sheet. So you have one now.
Nice.
Yay.
You made one yourself. Anyway, while you have been doing lab work, where are you doing the lab work? Have you just rented a room in a motel somewhere?
Be cooking.
Keep cooking, yeah. You're going to one of those cheap ask no questions motels where they take cash and charge by the hour. And, okay, we need 4 hours to do this. And they're going to assume that you are either prostitutes or cooking meth. Or both.
Why? I was about to say, why not both?
Oh, why not both? Yeah.
Oh, that's great. We go to, you want to,
So how long does it take to roll for making one of these bad boys?
A couple of hours, but we're going to get back to that because since you are doing the lab work, there might be other things that someone wants to do in the Hall of the Living Power. So is there other things that you want to do in the Hall of the Living Power? Because you haven't taken that much time yet, have you? It's just 5 or 6 p.m. at the moment.
Blair, are there things we want to do in the Hall of Living Power?
I'm sure there's things that we want to do, but we can't do.
Is there anything you can think of in particular you would like to do or look out for?
Nothing's really coming to mind, because we pretty much already
This was all kind of-
investigated all we can.
And a big part of this was like recon. Okay, I bet that statue is what we want to destroy.
Yeah.
And then, is there anything behind the soundstage? Or is it just more empty space?
Just more empty space.
Okay.
Of course.
And then this is a pyramid, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh shit, I just realized I'm gonna scroll all the way up.
Yes,
Is that
it
a place?
does. That is the apartment of the Living Power, Gene Downing himself.
How are you supposed to get up there, Gene?
You climb on the rafters and the ladders leading up. It's not hard.
Rafters or ladders.
No, you have here's ladders, and there's going to be ladders going up there. Yeah, it's it is in fact surprisingly accessible. It's just you're not supposed to go up there because it's Gene Downing's personal living quarters.
You think Gene's into bed?
What was that?
You think Gene's into bed?
Who knows where Gene might be?
Could I seduce Gene?
Trying is a thing.
I just feel like that's a really long way down if I fail.
You want to throw him down the stairs? Like, whee! All the way down.
Okay, so that's his apartment up there.
Yep.
So I wonder what's up there. Should we try to get up there, or should we not do that?
Given there's other people here, still,
All
I
right.
don't think we'll be able to get up without being spotted.
They have an enormously effective security system here consisting of a chain that has been mounted across the ladder with a signage attached to the chain saying private. You'd have to actually unhook the chain from one side and walk past it and up all the way. So
It's thwarted us. If only Talbot was here. She's never stopped by things such as rules and signs.
that might be true.
Alright, do you want to go back out then into the courtyard, and should we... What do we know about the other buildings? One's a library, one's like a research... Have you ever been to the research center?
Yeah, you've been to it. It's basically a glorified agricultural research center.
Ah, okay. That's lame.
So, the E-Compatibility Research Center is basically agricultural research. They speak a lot about how they...
Is the perimeter... Is there like a fence around the perimeter, or...
Oh, yeah.
Or...
Absolutely. Why don't you, Fenton and Blair, roll me awareness checks, please? Because you are doing scouting, right? This is a reconnaissance mission.
By awareness, do you mean alertness?
Yes, of course. I was playing Vampire Dark Ages last night, and it's called awareness in that game.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
It's alright, I got you.
Yep. Poor Blair. You will learn from your mistakes, won't you?
Yep, hopefully.
Hey, Blair always gets it when it counts most, so that's fine. Those like life or death critical medical rules she's always been on top of.
Luckily.
Fenton, as you are being paranoid enough, I guess, or healthily paranoid, you are scouting out things like the stewards that are walking around here and helping people because they're very helpful and want to guide their congregation. And it's, again, hard to tell how many stewards there might be, but given the size of the compound and how many you might see at any one time in any one location, you would estimate, well, between half a dozen and a dozen, perhaps? Again, it's hard to know, because we're talking about what you are presuming to be a not entirely human creature, which Z-Cell has come to call the Ooey Gooeys. So, do they need to sleep? What are their physical needs? Do they need to eat? If you were setting up a watch rotation for regular humans on patrol and working different shifts and all that sort of thing, then you will need a certain size of staff to be able to maintain a particular level of patrolling capacity. So if you want to have 10 people on patrol constantly, you probably need 30 or 40 staff because you have to rotate them and so on. Maybe 3 or 4 of these stewards. So if they, at any one time, you're walking around the compound, you're looking for them, you're noting one is over there and one is by the e-publishing building and maybe someone is inside the main hall. And so as you have been doing your reconnaissance over the stretch of an hour or so, just trying to locate the guards or the potential opposition to you, that's maybe the number. But it's, yeah, your guess is going to be that there's got to be more of them than the number. The question is how many more, and that's really hard to estimate because you don't know their physiology. You don't know how much rest they need. So yeah, peg it to between 6 to a dozen, maybe ish.
Just like regular.
Maybe a dozen is a safer estimate, just in case.
How many, like, regular families and civilians are there?
I think we've estimated it to slightly less than 100, something like that, yeah. And there's also other regular guards who do not have the same, shall we say, lack of expression. Folks like these who are walking around and they have their particular stations mostly. They don't patrol as much maybe. Maybe there's a couple of them walking around on patrol to show people the way to the places, and because again, there's always someone new around. They don't really have weapons. They don't have guns or anything like that, but maybe a nightstick. They might have access to weapons, like there might be a weapons locker somewhere on the compound. But there's definitely more of these regular security people than there are stewards.
Actually, an interesting point. Have we seen any indications of a guard's barracks or an armory?
If there is an armory, it would probably be in the main hall, because that is where the administrative offices are. So that would make sense, just from what you have seen. Now, this is all stuff you have seen on the surface. For all, they could be an entire city underneath. Like, you haven't seen any way to access any place underneath, but secret bunkers are a thing in the world. But I think you've seen some guards going to the regular dormitories as well. They're not, yeah, they seem to be using the dorms like the rest of the membership.
I have a foolproof plan to figure out if there's a bunker. I want to walk up to one of the stewards to go, "Brother, are you going to the rave in the underground bunker tonight?"
Oh.
No. Okay. There. Do you want to go check out the main hall?
Sure.
Around there and take...
Why don't we roll for another luck check from one of you?
Of course.
I'm in.
Giggle. As you're walking across here, the open plaza, you will hear, "Oh, you're here? Look, it's Diane from St. Louis."
Oh. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh.
When did you come? What are you doing here? What happened in St. Louis? Do you know?
Oh, I haven't any idea. After the incident, we came right away. We didn't know what else to do. The FBI closed down the chapter.
It's terrible, isn't it? I thought Doug he was amazing, and I just loved him. But, I'm a bit confused, because after I woke up, there was an emptiness inside me. I didn't really know how I felt anymore about things. So I felt I should go here and just clear my head and meditate. But apparently we're coming to a new age, so maybe the living power will save us all in the new age.
So we'll have to wait and see. Do you remember that horrible night? What happened?
No, I didn't see you guys. You were summoned to the meditation. Where were you? You weren't there when we started the meeting.
I wasn't able to make it. I was stuck with work and couldn't get out.
Yeah.
That is not a lie. That is me telling the truth.
That is a very selective way of... Yes, it's technically not a lie. I feel almost like there's a persuade check to be made here. On the other hand, it's not like she has a lot of human to speak of, so...
Are you okay, though?
Yeah. We were in the hospital for a couple of days. They wanted to check us up and just see if we were all right. We all passed out. We started meditating, and then the inner lights of everyone came out and manifested in the realizers, and the spiritual reservoir responded, and then I can't really remember that much more because we just passed out. It was strange. And then I woke up in the hospital.
I heard some people didn't make it. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. Not really. I just know that some people didn't make it. I'd never met them before. I think Doug recruited them. I can't remember if they were even in the membership rolls, to be honest. I haven't had access to... because it was all closed down. But I just don't remember their faces. And me and Sarah, we used to be very... we tried to track everything properly in the books for Doug. But, yeah, I don't know. Everything was really confusing afterwards. I was so woozy, brain fog. I'm still not really sure on my feet. Every once in a while I just get super woozy. But it's so good to have a place to retreat to and to sit down and meditate. And I'm so grateful for that.
You get some rest and be careful. Look after yourself. And maybe,
For sure.
I don't know if you have any family back home, but maybe think about reaching out to them as well and just trying to recuperate after what happened.
You are my family. You're my brother now.
Oh, I'm so kind. I'm so glad to hear that, sister. And I'll give her a hug. And I'll look at Blair in my face and just deadpan like, I hate this cold.
Oh.
You get some rest and take care. I'll see you around.
I'll see you around. It was good meeting you again.
Of course.
And she will walk away and maybe speak to some other Anulsis member. I recruited him up in St. Louis. She's boasting about it.
Benson actually does feel sad. He feels for her and these other people that are getting sucked into this.
It's, yeah. Can you save them all? Can you save any of them? How do you
Well, that's interesting
deprogram people?
That's interesting what she said, Blair, about how all the people who died apparently had been recruited by Dickface. Valid. God, why am I so bad at names in this game?
Yeah, that's very odd.
It's not regular cult members that are being sacrificed, so to speak. So we should check out the main hall. I'm also curious, is there somebody who's like a senior member of the cult, librarian, knows all about the lore and the history?
Of course there is. There has to be, yeah. Main hall, here we go again.
I would like to talk to that person.
Delta Green does not have a library use skill.
I want to find that person because I actually want to ask them a question about the realizers.
Okay, yeah.
I
This
was
person
curious.
is dressed in white robe with some nice gold trim and such, yeah.
Is it a guy or a girl?
Why are you asking me such hard questions?
So I know to leave with brother or sister.
It's a brother. It's a brother in the light.
Brother, hello. How are you today?
I am walking in my inner light, brother. How about you?
Aren't we all walking in my inner lights? I had a question, if you wouldn't mind indulging me.
Of course.
Our realizers,
Yes.
they're all shaped rather the same, with a double-ended point, correct?
Yes, they are.
Is there a significance to that?
Of course. It's about connecting your inner light to the astral planes above and below, between sky and earth.
And what would happen if one of the points was removed?
Why would anyone remove a point? He looks positively
something-
shocked, like... That's...
It's something I remember seeing in Salt Lake from some strange people before who did his whole
Oh, you're talking about St. Louis
They
now?
had, yes, it was.
Okay.
There were some people that had realizers, but their realizers were missing one of the points.
What? That can't be right. He looks outraged now. No, that's all wrong. No, all realizers have to be... You're wearing it correct. You're wearing a correct one, and so am I. And he's holding up the identical one. And no, taking away a point, that would disrupt everything. How would you be able to charge your spiritual reservoir if you take away a point?
Could it do the opposite, perhaps? Could it drain your spiritual reservoir?
Maybe. It would certainly disrupt the flow of your inner light, I think. It would certainly... I don't know exactly what could happen, to be honest. I have never heard of anyone trying to remove a point on their realizer before. That seems absolutely reckless. It has to be a clear conduit for inner light from yourself connecting to sky and earth and then to the spiritual reservoir. And if that flow is interrupted, I can only imagine that it will drain the user, perhaps, or disrupt the clarity of your inner light, perhaps. Maybe instead of walking in white light, maybe you have other lights on the spectrum that could disrupt your inner bodily functions.
One good thing came from the FBI's bust in St. Louis that they got that crazy man and his fools out from Anulsis before they could do more harm to our organization.
Absolutely. It's so sad to see someone fall from the true path, to see someone abandon their inner light. Perhaps he was consumed by an inner darkness.
One can only ponder.
Indeed.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, not at all. I know we're all shocked and stunned by what happened in St. Louis, and I heard rumors that we have some brothers and sisters from St. Louis here. So we have to do all we can to understand the trauma they've gone through to help them cleanse their inner light. So you mean to say that they had broken realizers there?
That's correct.
Oh, I am shocked. That explains so much, I think, about their leader.
I hear that behind the scenes he was a man troubled by many dark things. And my mind just goes to the porno. So clearly my face becomes very grim.
Oh my God.
You're here now, and he puts his hand on your shoulder. Walk in your inner light, my brother. And our meditation centers are always available. There are seminars to attend. We will help you find your inner light and the true path again.
Thank you.
They're so kind, aren't they?
I'll say, if they weren't alien worshipping doomsday cult, I'd almost feel bad.
Yeah.
I will say, again, Fenton feels for the average member of the group. I don't think that they're bad people wanting the end of the world and horrible things to happen. Just that they've fallen in with the cults for one reason or another.
If you want to roll a human, you've been around enough of them right now to roll a human to see their mental states, their attitude towards this whole thing. Yeah, I think for both of you, that is very much the case. Comparing the attitudes between even ranking members of Anulsis Foundation here was by ranking the librarian, the teachers, the people over at the E-Compatibility Research Center. Almost everybody you speak to here seem to be just like that, Fenton. They believe in this stuff. They believe in the pamphlets. And you will remember, wasn't there one time when Talbot was meditating on the crystal and she had a kick out of it?
I think, I know Talbot had the best, but I think you mentioned that several of us had felt better.
Yeah, you all felt better.
It was a good feeling experience. And
yeah.
then that's right before
So
Talbot went to a fucking coma.
when that good feeling experience of feeling energized and more awake and a clarity of mind, when that hits you after the meditation, that is a powerful, seductive tool for a cult leader, isn't it? So it's really not surprising that, and to add on top of that, because Blair would think of such things, that feeling was not something that Blair can ascribe to placebo, which is, or projection in this case, or confirmation bias, that you feel the rush because you have conditioned yourself to feel the rush. Because you are all skeptical of this. You're all super skeptical of this. You have not been taken in by the words. You've not been already a seeker who wanted to find meaning and purpose in life. So you just listened to what their recruiters were saying, and then you projected a feeling of cleanliness or a rush into your mind because of dopamine of being taken up into a community like this. No, that was something else, which is probably unsettling for Blair and everybody else. We already know that there were mystical properties to these realizers that apparently the Anulsis members may or may not be entirely aware of. But you've also met Gene Downing and the stewards, and they're all off in some way. The stewards are off because you are expecting them to be ooey gooey people with Z-cell parlance. You have classified them as, if you're submitting a report on what kind of supernatural or unnatural entities you've met, you would describe them as ooey gooey people. In the subject line, ooey gooey, classified ooey gooey.
We've seen the sinister side of this cult, this organization, and what's happening. We know we're not in ignorance like these people are. And most of the people, I honestly feel, are just victims. They have no idea.
Yeah, that's it's with that kind of a human role, I would say that is very much the impression both Fenton and Blair get, that you have some really horrifying people hiding like wolves in a flock of sheep who are innocent in other ways and just genuinely believe that their inner light will be a guide for the rest of the world to follow, and that they're improving the planet by doing the agricultural research and the meditations and so on. It's agriculture with some new age thrown in, for good measure. Meanwhile, we have two other people here who keep working in their not meth lab. And why don't we have Talbot and Morgan roll another demolitions check to see if they can create another device that could possibly be harmful to your opponents.
Ooh, let's go. There you go. There you go. Oh man.
You have no luck at all today, Talbot.
Yeah, no, I don't. Is demolitions one of those rolls that doesn't automatically... Oh, there it goes. Never mind.
None of them automatically does. But I can click on things.
Yeah, I was like, I failed and it didn't check. Is that like a natural where it doesn't? But no.
Yeah, no, that goes for all the skills, but I tend to check for you if you don't do it yourself. So, again, Talbot has problems connecting wires, fumbles at the table, montage of Talbot struggling with all the things, while Morrigan is just going through the motions, which is ironic because Talbot is supposedly slightly better at making these things.
Maybe I just need to go back to school for it.
Maybe, yeah. How do you connect that? Morrigan has created another of these devices in the time you've spent working on this. Yeah. You now have two. How much longer do Z-Cell want to spend on the compound right now? The time at the moment is 7 o'clock. You still have some hours.
Okay.
You still have some hours, so are Blair and Fenton going to have supper in the main hall? Hello, Fenton and Blair?
Oh, hello, I was muted, I'm sorry. Blair, do you think maybe we should split up? One person go to the hall and try to take a more detailed inventory of how many people are at this compound, and one of us just has a look around the main hall building and take note of what's in here.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Which role would you rather have?
I guess I'll go for the first one, to take count of how many people are here.
Okay.
So where's that exactly? The dorms, maybe?
Going to wherever the supper hall would be when everybody's eating dinner. Like
So
you have
that's
a lot
part
of
of
people.
that's part of the main hall. Yeah, the main hall has admin on top, and then on the ground floor there is a school. It's a small school because there isn't that many students around here. Maybe 20 kids or so in total. And you have also the library and the cafeteria. Yeah, main hall has a bunch of different functions.
So she'd go to the cafeteria then and take inventory or take count of how many people are there when everyone's gathered. I guess I'll just walk around the main hall and try to find different where windows are, doors, entry points, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Rooms are where.
The rooms you're going to find are administrative, so it's going to be, for example, you're going to find the rooms for Mosley and for, you met her before, haven't you? Miss Crow. Fran Crow. She is in the office for the head of security. And as you come in, you're walking around the level. You're undoubtedly going to see another steward there walking past, smiling to you. You will hear the steward say, "May you walk in your inner light," in a very monotone fashion, because that's what they do. But yeah, Crow is sitting behind her desk. She has filing cabinets. Looks very mundane given what you think she is. But there's also a computer bank with a TV set in a corner. She can watch whatever material she needs to watch. And she will, in fact, have you summoned into her office when apparently she will know that you're passing by. And she's going to stand up, like, from behind her office and from behind her desk and close the office door and ask you, any progress? In a very low voice, because
I'll just say, doing what we can.
Very well.
What are you working on?
The latest shipment of power.
The realizers.
Yes.
May I? And asking if I can basically take a look at the computer.
Very well.
Man, I didn't expect to get this far, to be honest with you, when I came up here.
Yeah, there is, it looks like shipping reports. It's logistics. How many realizers are coming in? Plenty, it looks like, from a glance.
Fair enough. What else is on her?
She's gonna whisper to you. There. Ship it through the window. You need the right light combination. Green, purple, blue, green, red, purple. Now go.
Blue, green, red, purple, was it? And what did she say? 'Cause I can hear you. What, through the window?
Yeah, she said that they are shipped through the window, and that's the light combination.
Shipped through the window. Green, purple, blue, green, red, purple. That's not ominous. Okay, well, she asked me to leave, so I think I've overstayed my welcome in the security office. Cool. That was
Indeed.
an experience.
That was an experience, wasn't it? Feel free to, Blair, to roll an alertness check. Sorry, games.
Oh, come on.
Okay, this is Blair getting overwhelmed by sensory input in the main hall when all the kids are gonna have supper too, and there's a lot of screaming and...
Too many kids running around.
Yes! And
It's
it's like,
they're
could you
all in
just
row.
stop
Exactly.
there so I can count you? Nope. They're not even on a leash from their parents. How dare they? So, yeah, that's a problem
That's
for
my
you.
progress.
Yeah. You didn't make any progress on that one. It is now... what? 8 in the evening? You still have 4 hours to burn with this. You're being meticulous today, aren't you? Talbot and Morgan. Roll for another demolitions check. Let's see how much you can build here. Come on, Talbot. You can do it. We believe in you.
Okay, how can I top that, though?
You can't. Unless you roll like that.
Yay!
Okay. So we're going to have more devices here, clearly. Yeah. Morgan makes another one. You now have a bunch. So 1, 2 in total there. And Talbot, I'm going to give you 2. Because you finally... oh, that's how I should be connecting this. Or you can make one large one. That goes much boomier.
One much boomier one sounds like fun. More fun.
Very well. So this thing will have... oh dear. This would be... okay. You would need a car to transport this thing? Like, you could put it in the trunk of a car and it could go in there and then it will do horrible things. And it will have a kill radius of something around 75 meters and a lethality of 60. Which means that it's going to wipe out at least more than half of the people within that kill radius.
I would just like to remind all the FBI spies listening into our game that we are playing a game and Talbot is not in fact a domestic terrorist planning to blow anything up.
Exactly!
Yeah, no, I do not have any demolition knowledge of my own.
This is a game, this is fiction, no real car bombs.
No real car bombs. So the question then, Agent Zona, is do you want 2 small ones or a big one?
Having the nuclear bomb in the inventory joke is coming back.
Yes,
Oh,
it
no.
is.
Yay.
It will be incredibly destructive.
Yay.
So you're grabbing the big one?
Oh yeah, the big one.
Okay. Talbot, who still has a moral compass, will not want to blow this thing up close to the kids.
No, I'm just opposed to showing kids alien porn.
Oh, you're not opposed to blowing them to smithereens, then?
That's quick and painless, but alien porn is going to give them years of therapy.
I think we need to recalibrate the moral compass again here.
It's like that compass from Pirates of the Caribbean. It doesn't point north. It points to wherever I want it to.
Talbot wants the biggest explosion.
Alright. It seems to me like we're getting close to the time where you are supposed to meet with Corso and conduct certain activities to open a communications channel to the people who are actually leading Anulsis. But it also seems to me that we will jump to that particular scene which is going to be in an abandoned industrial park very close to the Anulsis HQ next time, because I look at the clock and the session is running out of time. So thank you very much for everyone who tuned in, Lazarius and others who tuned in to watch and chat. I'm going to leave you with a cliffhanger. They're soon going to meet something from Anulsis. Is it going to be Wolseley? Is it going to be Gene Downing? Or is there something behind them that we haven't seen yet? The curious will find out eventually in a week from now. Don't forget to follow the channel, subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell icon so you can get all the news from ACell, and we will see you in a week. This is Z-Cell signing off for now. Be seeing you!